Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. I think this is all one big trap, like all of it. I recently watched a documentary, and it was very bizarre. I like watching documentaries. I've mentioned that before, but this one kind of threw me for a loop. It was about how people still now have to work and the idea of retirement. It's just never going to actually be a thing. In the documentary news expose kind of thing, they were talking to this woman. She was 81 years old. And they were asking her how she felt about working at 81 years old. And she proudly proclaimed that she loved it. So you would assume that this woman is saying that she loves working at 81 years old because it's her work ethic. She loves working. She wants to be a productive member of society, whatever that's supposed to mean nowadays. So she's still working. They were asking her more questions, and it turns out this woman could not retire. Like, she literally could not. So when she was in her late 60s, she realized that she didn't have any money saved. She had no money put away. She literally could not retire. So her only option was going back to work. And since she was 81 now, she kind of like learned to love it. She said, I'll be doing this for the rest of my life. She said, like, with like this isn't a joke. Like, I saw this. She had like a slight smirk, and she was like, this is my life now. This, what I'm going to do. And I had almost like a mini panic attack, not in like a joking way. Like, I sat there and I was like, can you imagine getting to the age of 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, and you can't retire ever? Like the revelation hits you. You will never be able to retire. And you kind of have to change your brain's chemistry to where you're like, well, this is it. This is my only option. I'm going to have to do this. So they were showing her going around the store. She couldn't do like any heavy tasks. There's also like a major problem right now, where a lot of I think it's boomer, and is it also Gen X? I'm not really sure. There's a generation who's like looking to retire, but they can't retire because they have no money, they have no savings, they put nothing away. And I'm seeing a lot of, and I don't know, this is what I was talking about, like it feels like a trap. There's a lot of exposés and a lot of videos where like you can find these people like talking honestly, and they're like, no, I'm miserable. Like I can't, I don't want to work for the rest of my life. But then you're also finding these videos where like they're like, oh, this is great. This is totally fine. I love being productive and awesome, and no companies are hiring them. There's an issue now where these people can't retire, so they quit their old job. They think they can go into the golden years or whatever people are told. But it doesn't happen, because after a year or two, they realize that any savings they might have had, which is also even, what is it? I think 1 out of every 4 people in the States, nonetheless, many other places around the world, don't have any retirement savings. And I'm not even talking about like a 401k or a pension, because even that, we're finding out now that a lot of these people have been dipping into their pensions for the last 20 to 30 years. These people had pensions with their jobs, whether they knew it or not. Money's there. People figure out that the money's there, and they start taking that money out. If I find this other video, I'll try and post it either here or on Twitter or somewhere. There was another video where they were asking people, do you have a retirement fund? They were anywhere between 30 to, I want to say, 50 something years old was I think the oldest guy. And they were asking them, they said, do you have, a retirement fund, and have you used it, or are you thinking about using it? They all said that they had dipped into it. One of them said for medical reasons. Another woman was like, I wanted to go back to school. Another guy was like, oh, my daughter was, I think going to, I forgot what she was doing, but she needed some money. And there was all these kinds of things. So during the actual video, they're explaining to these people what happens when you dip into your 401k, when you dip into your pension. And they were like, what was the number before? They had them like show documents and yada, yada, yada. They were saying if you're on the course or trying to save money for retirement, all of them were not trying to save money for retirement. They literally were trying to like live their best life right now. Like this is it. This is, there's a huge thing right now where people are discouraged from the idea of ever retiring. I'm not sure if you've seen this. There's a lot of videos going around between the retirement crisis and just like whatever. A lot of young people are not saving. A lot of young people are taking money from their the retirement funds that they might even have as a company. And they were asking them why across multiple videos. The one that I saw that really stuck into my head was the one from South Korea. And they said, because I'm never going to own a home. And they said, how do you know you're never going to own a home? Because they've been told their entire lives, when you turn 30, you have to have a home. We've gone over that toxic nonsense before on this channel. But it's this idea by 30, you are married, you have kids with an S, you have a house, you have a 2-story house. You have to have a white picket fence. Like all that stuff still remains. It might sound a little cliche and weird, but people still believe in this. This is the life that people think that they're supposed to have at a certain age. And this is why I think a lot of those videos where it's like, you've seen them. How much money do you have by 25, by 30, by 45? And they have these nonsensical astronomical numbers. I saw one, he was like, you should have $2.7 million in your 40s. And I was like, who's 40s? The problem is, first of all, finishing that point, is that their idea was that they would never own the property that they wanted. It wasn't, I'll never own property. I'll never become a landlord. It was literally, I will never be able to have that lifestyle to make my family or my parents happy enough. Therefore, I'm giving up. I'll never be able to afford assets in the way, because you look at people on TikTok and stuff like that and you see, well, I just bought my 17th house, and if you don't have like 8 houses by the time you're 30, what are you doing, bro? Don't even laugh, because these videos also exist. They said that they keep seeing these things online and they're so discouraged because they think that they're never going to live up to that level that they keep seeing on TikTok or other places. But they also think, they had the same exact thing for people in Japan. They were asking them, what do you see yourself in the future? And they were like, I'm kind of just living day by day. I'm literally like, I'm going on vacations. I'm doing this, so and so and so, because I don't think I'm going to be able to have these kinds of things in the future. And it is a dangerous idea and mindset to have. I think it even goes beyond the idea of a poor mindset and a rich mindset. It's like a preparational mindset. I've gone over that before with a lot of you in other videos. My idea of preparing comes from the fact that I see so many people not preparing. In my life, I've tried my best, and if we can be honest here, I think I've changed my outlet from talking to my friends to like talking to people here. I've tried for years. I've been in investing the better part of 15, 16, 17 years, somewhere around those numbers. I got really more intensely into it around like 2012, 2013. But when I discovered you could put money into something and have it literally work for you and make money back, that was it. That was, sign here, period. That was, okay, cool, I'm convinced. And I tried telling other people, and the lack of caring, and I'm also seeing like the repercussions of that as well. I started telling people about investing in 2012, 13, and 14. Friends and family, anyone who I knew. I was trying to spread the good word. You can make money work for yourself. We don't have to work when we're 99 years old. It was out there very, oh, cool. Oh, wow. Okay. I remember still getting the answer. Well, why isn't everyone doing that? That one sticks in my head and it hurts. It hurts the most. Why isn't everyone doing it? As if you need everyone else to be investing in one particular thing for you to even think of, well, all my friends are doing it, so I guess I'll do it now as well. A lot of these people, it's not that I don't have contact with them so much as I don't see these people maybe every day, or they're in different countries or what have you, whatever the case might be. But I notice on Twitter, on Instagram, if I go to Facebook every now and again, because older people in my family only use Facebook, I see the posts. Times are rough. I can't pay this. I can't do that. Why are things so expensive? And inflation is not your fault as a consumer. It's the government and their terrible economic policies. But I sit there a lot of times and I've gone, what if you had put away $10 per day? What if every single month over the course of the last 13, 14 years, you had put away $200? And I say 200 as not even a very specific number. Do you know that on average, it is believed that the average person is spending around $10,000 extra per year? It comes out to $27 a day. $27 a day, 365 makes $10,000. The idea is that, remember I told you a story a number of years ago. I knew this girl, bless her heart. She would always go to Starbucks. She would wake up in the morning, she would go to Starbucks. On her lunch break, she would go to Starbucks. When so, she would go to Starbucks. And before coming back home, she would go to Starbucks as well. And this is back then. There's $6-7 per drink. She was also like eating out every single lunch meal. And I tried calculating with her one time, and I was like, hey, you're spending a good 30, 40 per day when you don't have to spend that amount of money. She said, oh, cool, amazing, awesome, you're fantastic. When you drag it out and you see that you've been spending $15,000 per year just on lunch and Starbucks, it's like someone like threw something at your face and it's like, oh my gosh, my eye, why'd you do that to me? You extrapolate. A decade becomes $150,000. We're not going to talk about specific things, but I told you before, for those of you who don't know, I don't do this and I don't do that. Family reasons, mental reasons, I don't want to, but also like because of money. I figured out, especially because of money, I figured out years ago, it doesn't take a lot of effort to save. It doesn't take a lot of effort to make money. This isn't meant to be a video like, hey, you can become rich overnight. Like these kinds of things. It just all takes time. $27 a day. A year is $10K. Imagine where you were exactly 10 years ago. 2014, time of me making this video. Where were you? What would you do right now if you had an extra decade, an extra $100,000 to play around with, to do anything with? Imagine you did that in your 20s into your 30s. Your 30s into and nothing else. No other investing, no other buying, no other assets. 20s into your 30s, 30s into your 40s, 40s into your 50s, 50s into your 60s. You retire and you're like, oh, my pension's not that high. You have several $100,000 now at your disposal. You can go to Bali. You can go to an island place. I think Thailand's also known as like one of the like places to go to if you don't have a lot of money, but you can retire like in literal luxury, like $600, 2-bedroom, brand new build place, like this kind of thing. It bothers me so much because few people actually look ahead. There's a constant like, I can't do it. I can't achieve it. I'm not going to make it. So why should I try? Let me spend I love how the thing in the back is flashing at the exact same time as I'm like, my brain is getting more intense. It's completely insane that we live in this kind of world. I think a lot of financial content, at least for myself, I find to be lightly cringy because of the idea of what you're supposed to have or supposed to achieve or how much money you're supposed to have in your bank account at any given time. I think that's a very weird metric to look at. It's literally the difference between you having something and having absolutely nothing. Nothing. Jack diddly squat. You don't have any money in your bank account at all. It's just starting to do something. And I hate even using the term like poor, because I grew up without a lot of money. I have one of my close friends, we were chatting before about like life and growing up and stuff like that and not having a lot of money. You have to understand that you can get out of that. You have to. And listen, I don't know everyone's particular certain life circumstances and the things that they went through. Because, listen, if you went through something like astronomically crazy and you listen. But for the everyday average person, you can get out of it. It just takes time. You have to have a mindset that you can achieve and that you can do something. I'm not talking about you being like, in 7.5 years, I'm going to buy a mansion. No, in 7.5 years, imagine having an extra $70,000 because you didn't buy weird, frivolous things. Because you took the time to be like, no, I'm going to save. I'm not going to do that crazy thing. I'm not going to do... What? I saw something recently where they were talking to people about going on vacation. You know, the amount of people who take out debt to go on vacation has skyrocketed. They attribute it to something that they tie into the idea of doom spending, DOOM spending. If you can't get it, if your finances aren't that great right now, what else am I going to do? I can't afford a house right now. I can't afford stocks right now. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get a credit card, and I'm going to use that credit card to rack up as much money as I can to go on this vacation. And the thing I was watching, they were talking about that the average person spends $5,000 to $6,000 on the vacation, like for the flight, for the hotel that they're gonna stay in. And I was like, 5,000 what? It better be pesetas from the 1990s in Spain, because that doesn't make any sense. This extravagant amount of, and it's crazy because people sit there and they go, I don't have any money. I don't have any so-and-so. I can't do this. Where's my blah, blah, blah. I met so many people over the years. So many people over the years who were like, well, like, we're not all as lucky as you, like referring to me sometimes, like this passive aggressive kind of thing. Well, we don't all have it. I'm like, no, I grew up poor. I grew up like, for those of you who don't know the terminology, in other parts of the world, it would be like council housing. I grew up in the projects. I grew up broke. We didn't have jack diddly squat. And what we did have was put on like one of 16 different credit cards. We were broke. We had nothing. I remember it was terrible. We had blocks of government cheese. We had like the big like government peanut butter that they also had that you couldn't scoop. Sometimes you had to like microwave it to try and like make it like a bit softer. We had like white bread that when you like scoop the peanut butter on it, it would destroy the bread. We were broke. It's not about coming into good fortune or being like super lucky. It's literally just starting somewhere. You gotta reel it in. 5,000 for a vacation for one person is crazy. You know you can have a vacation, a holiday. You can travel somewhere for like a good 1,500. You don't have to stay in like a super nice hotel or get like a first class flight to take an Instagram photo to show to your friends like how well you're doing when you're actually broke. Like you don't have to stay in like those crazy. People take stuff for Instagram. What? People are taking all these things to show other people on Instagram how good they have it and how rich they are when they're broke. You don't got to spend $5,000. You can spend a lot less. 3-4 day trip. It doesn't have to be 2 weeks. Doesn't have to be to the Bahamas. It doesn't have to be to some place that you can't spell because you've never been there before. You're trying to take as many photos as possible and running around staying in places for 2 days at a time because you're so desperate to show other people what's going on. The mindset has to change. It literally has to flip. I can't do you understand how much I invest? I was having this conversation with oh my gosh. I actually have to take it easy, like myself, because I don't do anything for myself. I'm not asking you to be as intense as I am by any means. I'm so afraid, it's something in my head, of being broke or poor or not having anything. All I do is invest. It's difficult for me to like do things for myself or to like have fun for myself because I'm constantly thinking about how much money like I need to put away just to be able to have more in the future. If I turn 81 years old and I'm working in a McDonald's or a Walmart, devastated isn't the word. I think it's like mega ultra super optimus prime devastated. You're not going to see me on a YouTube video being like, oh yeah, sweeping floors and my knees and my back hurt. This is fun. The idea of doom spending is also crazy to me. I understand having a bad day or a bad week. And listen, the last 4 years have been a little crazy for all of us. I understand every now and again wanting to be like, no, I'm going to do that thing for myself. I'm going to buy that thing. I'm going to buy this, blah, 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 you know, every now and again. But to make sure that you are in debt so that you can live your best Instagram, TikTok, real life right now is crazy to me. The mindset for a rich person is not anything, I think, spectacularly crazy or, you know, it's literally just saving for the future. It's buying things now, it's buying assets that will go up in the future. And if you don't know what's going to go up, gosh darn it, get some dividend stocks from really big companies that have been around for 65 years. You know, things, you know, people need diapers. Find the company making diapers, like that kind of thing. It's just about starting and putting away the money. It's about having some relative form of self-control and also just adultness where you don't feel the need to like have to brag to other who you don't also know or don't even like on social media or to your family or other, like it makes no sense. Like think about it. 10K per year, even bring it back, 5K per year, $13.50 per day of some kind of frivolous spending. What would you do right now if you looked at your bank account and you had an extra $50,000 inside of it? What would you do if that number was even higher? How many people keep going on these trips and buying clothes you don't need? That was the thing that I did. I remember when I was 18 years old, I thought it was cool. You don't understand. I thought it was cool. Me and my friends, whenever we would get our allowance, we would go buy clothes. I mean, tons of clothes. Walking on the street, all these bags. Oh yeah, we went clothes shopping. And I remember after a while, I was wearing my same favorite shirts over and over and over and over and over and over. And I was like, I looked through my closet, more than half the stuff still had tags on it. Tags on it, like hanging from the arm. There were still tags on it. I wasn't even wearing them. And it's one of those things where you can't kind of beat yourself up being like, oh gosh, I wish I had the money from when I was 18 and 19. But the mentality has to change. Who are you performing for? Because it's not you. You're making your future even worse. If you are in your late 20s, if you were in your 30s, if you were in your 40s, if you were in your early 50s right now, and you are not saving, you are not investing, what do you think is going to happen? If you get a chance to watch any documentary, they're out there, on pensions and retirement, it is going to mortify you. There are countries that don't have like certain mandates on things. So I think within the US, I think you mandatorily, have to pay into some kind of pension plan. I think. Other countries, they don't have this like multi-tiered thing, and they kind of have like a literal minimum payment per month where, I mean, from your paycheck, they're taking like $5, $10, $15, like that's it. That's it. And they're showing all, and I've been telling you for years, I've been watching these documentaries and they're only getting more crazy because they're chatting with these people and they're like, how old are you? I'm 74 years old. I can't retire. And the ones I've been watching recently, these people are breaking down, crying. This woman, she said she remembers being young and she wants to be young again so bad. They asked her why, as if, why would you ask somebody in their 70s, why do you want to be young and fit again? She said, because I remember hanging out with my friends. I remember having the money. I remember spending and thinking, I don't have to think about it because when I get older, the government's going to take care of me. And she's like, now they're not taking care of me and I don't understand why. She couldn't conceptualize because she's from the generation where they were told, you don't got to worry. You're going to have a pension. It's going to take care of you for the rest of your life. You'll live on a beach somewhere. She's like, I don't have that. She's like, I want it so bad and I'm never going to get it. These are the moments you think it's a joke. These are the moments I'll like pause the video and I'll go buy more crypto or I'll go buy more art because I'm like, I refuse. I refuse. You don't get it. I refuse to be in that situation. I don't even think... So I think my mindset is kind of, you know, really strongly in one direction where like it's like this fear that kind of grips me. Some people don't even have like 0.5% of that. There's no... I see when I travel, I'm always traveling around a lot. I see the mentality, and this is my opinion. I see the people hanging out, and I see the... I'm not asking you not to go hang out, but you get what I'm saying, right? $13.50 a day, $27 a day. Imagine we have to have the same exact conversation in 10 years. Imagine it's 2034. Do you want to be exactly where you are right now or where you were 5 years ago or where you were 5 years before that? It's literally not that difficult to like kind of even conceptualize. Yeah. I didn't mean to make the video so intense, as it were. People aren't saving. People don't find a reason in their mind to save. Everyone's just spending. I saw last idea. I just saw something where they were discussing interest rates. They were talking to people, you know, are you buying a home? Are you buying this asset? Asking people like, did they plan on getting a car? And they said, no, the interest rates were too high. Some of these people were like, they want interest rates to go down, not to boost assets. They literally want it to be able to like take out debt because they have no savings. They wanted a lower interest rate on debt to be able to go on holiday, to go on vacation, to be able to buy the things that they want right now. That's not even a poor mindset. That's sad. That's terrifyingly sad. When I catch up with these people, when I talk to these people who I haven't seen in a long time, and we chat about stuff, or I see their post that they're posting, it's not even sadness that I feel. It's like dread isn't the word, because I know that their mindset isn't going to change. They're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake for the last 34 years. Let me change right now. And let me start saving. They're going to... One of the main things that I mean, this is true. One of the reasons why I think I tried so hard with my friends and family and everyone else who I came into contact with is because I want everyone else to have money. We've gone over that thousands of times on this channel, but you don't get how deep that it actually is. I don't want to travel alone. I want to travel with friends who also have money. We can wake up in the morning and just go travel somewhere. I want to be able to be 43, 44 in the future and be like, let's go do this with my other friends who have also retired from investing or putting money away. And I'm going to know people. You are going to know people in the next 10 to 15 years who are doom spending, who have no prospect for the future, who don't put any money away, who don't invest, who aren't even thinking of the future in any given possible way. You're going to meet them in 10 to 15 years and they're going to ask why you're not stressed. What? Yeah, I just saw on social media, you're traveling again? That's crazy. I know so many people. I'm not traveling daily, but I travel quite frequently and quite often. I do what I want. I go where I want to go. And I run into people every now and again, or I find people who I haven't spoken to in a number of years, and they see me online, they see my Instagram, they see yada yada, and they go, "What were you? You're traveling again? How are you doing that?" And I can't tell them. It's like, it's discipline. The last 10 to 15 years, I've made sure, like, because I personally prefer experiences and food and traveling far more than physical things. Like, I don't care about luxury this or so and so that or jewelry or diamonds or it means nothing to me. I'd rather, like, no, I'm going away for 3 weeks to this place where I want to go. I like that kind of thing. But you can't tell them that. You can't have an honest conversation with them. Well, I mean, over the last 15 years, I really buckled down and I made sure that every single month I was putting away this much money. A lot of my assets grew this amount over the course of this amount of time, and I took some of that money out and I went to buy property. The money that I'm making from the property is really passive income, so I'm using that money from the passive income to be able to... What does it mean to them? They'll think you're bragging. That's one of the worst. That's one of the worst. I heard before from people who were talking to other people, they thought I was bragging. You try and explain it to them. You try and let them know, put this amount of money away. When I see you in 10 to 15 years, you'll have this much money. When you tell them these things, they think you're going, well, I'm traveling. I have money. I did this. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. I don't want you to be 57 years old and being like, oh, snap. I don't got any money in my retirement account. And I have 18 credit cards and I'm 60,000 in debt. It's nuts. It's really extremely nuts what's happening and the way that things have and are unfolding. I'm exhausted. I'm completely exhausted, but the mindset has to change. I implore you always, if you have extra stuff in your house that you don't need and you know you don't need it, the old TV you're not using, all the other crap that you have laying on the floor, sell it. Get rid of it. Take half of it, put it into a high interest savings account. Some of these things, I won't name companies for favoritism. Some of these companies are offering between 4 to 6% back on your money every year. It's literally free money. Take the other half and invest it somewhere. It's literally just money just sitting around your house that you're doing absolutely nothing with. Like, start the journey. Or if you've already started the journey, like, kick it up a notch. Save more. Invest more. Put more money away. I swear to goodness. Does anybody here want to turn 65 and have absolutely no money to their name? Do you want to be an 81-year-old having to smile into a camera and being like, no, I love working. This is fine. I'm miserable, but this is great. She will never, ever, she will never retire. She will always be working there for as long as, the Lord allows. This is it. It's crazy. Yeah. I hope you got something from the video. I truly do. The path that the world is moving into, with all the money and all the assets being accumulated by the people who already have all the money and all the assets, this trend is not going to stop. Like, you need money and you need to invest and you need to put stuff away because the future and all that. I hope you've all enjoyed. I hope you got something from it. I hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, great afternoon, a great evening. I swear to goodness, start saving your money. Wherever you are, wherever you might be, I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. Jeez Louise. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.